We are back for another segment of Ask Dr. Steve. My name is Dan Mucci, and I'm the Mission Advancement Director here at CNA. Today, we are going to examine the topic of social media. Since the time Steve participated in sports, this phenomenon of social media was invented. First, it was Facebook, then Instagram and Twitter, and now we're on to Snapchat and TikTok. All this has changed how schools, athletic departments, and athletes interact with league school members and each other. As we do with each topic, Dr. Steve will break this topic down into segment for coaches, athletes, and parents. And so, Steve, let's get started this morning. So, what role should a parent take with their students, athletes, social media channels, and should the parent be following their child on social media?
Yeah, I think a conversation. You have conversations with your kids about the bird and the bees. You have conversations with your kid about safe driving. You have conversation with your kids about appropriate drinking and drug and alcohol use behavior. And now social media is one of those chats that parents are encouraged to have with their children, and coming at it from a co-creation, a collaborative type of way, talking about the pros and cons of social media, the child's thoughts about what does social media mean to them, how is it being currently used in their friends group, what is the intention behind social media, what do they feel the pros and cons of social media are, what do they like about social media, what do they not like about social media. I think it's an opportunity just to have an open-ended conversation about it, to then draw out what are some of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions associated with it, that can then create an open-ended discussion about what are some of the expectations moving forward.
And then, parents obviously meet each other just like the kids meet each other. Should parents follow other parents on social media? Or again, does that go back to how close you are with some parents and not as close to being other parents?
Yes. So again, going back to the first question, I would expect parents to probably follow their kids on social media. I'm 41 years old, and my mom is like the first one to like something that I did on social media. So, not to say that you have to, but it doesn't always have to be about stalking your kid. It could just be about, hey, my kid's an important person in my life. I obviously know my kid, so I'm going to follow him on social media. And actually, I think the same thing applies to parent acquaintances, and those parent acquaintances' kids as well. Um, I have friends, parents who follow me on social media too. So, and I'm assuming if I was, 19 or 20, maybe they would have followed me back then as well. So, again, it's what's the intention here? And if you don't want to follow these other parents that you're watching wiffle ball or whatever with, don't follow them, right? Like it's your own discretion, but again, kind of just being mindful of the intention behind why or why not.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the parental side. We addressed a little bit with the athletes. What if the parent sees negative comments about their son or daughter through social media, being friends with other parents on the team? What is the appropriate response a parent should take? We hope the kids are more mature and think it through first, but sometimes as a parent, if your kid's being attacked, wisdom and logic sometimes go out the door when you should be setting the example. Sometimes you're not.
Yeah. Yes. So it kind of goes back to that conversation hierarchy of do you feel comfortable being able to provide feedback to that parent, to that other parent that's making the comments? And I think that is a warranted activity and behavior to do. Now, I will also say that in life, anytime we choose to put ourselves out there in a performance endeavor, we're going to be subject to criticism and celebration. Like, that does kind of come with the territory. If I'm a musician and one of the other attendees say, I don't think you're very good, do I expect my parents to rush in and be like, hey, stranger, like, how dare you say that my son is not very good? I know it's a bizarre example, but these are some things that we also, that are included in this social media discussion. Like, if we're going to put ourselves out there now, should parents be arguing about how well little kids are performing at a sport? No. Okay, they probably shouldn't be. But late adolescence, now we're getting into college kids are making millions of dollars. Should a parent be able to say, hey, I don't think that quarterback's very good, or I don't think that softball player is very good? Hey, if I'm able to say it about LeBron, then maybe they're allowed to say it about this 19-year-old kid who's also making millions of dollars now. So it's a funky thing, but I think first and foremost, if you're uncomfortable with it as a parent, couple things. You can provide feedback to that other parent, or more importantly, you can chat with your kid and being like, hey, there's a lot coming out. We saw some negative. How are you doing about this? Do you understand sometimes that these are just parents caught up in the moment spouting off bullshit? Or where are you? Like, how are you feeling about this? So that's another important part of the conversation. Sometimes the fight that you think you need to have actually isn't a fight at all, because your kid understands, oh, it's just, that's Greg, right? He does that all the time. That's Mark's parents. That's the way they are, and they're over it the next day. So just some thoughts there.
So as we wrap up, do you have anything else you want to add about this topic, either for a coach, an athlete, or a parent?
Yeah, same thing as that's been brought up. Just communication, right? From a parent perspective, coaches percent, athlete to athlete, communicate. Like, what are we thinking about social media? What are some of the pros and cons associated? What do we think is appropriate behavior here in 2023 as this is being recorded? Having an open discussion about this. So then that allows people to get on the same page, open-ended conversation. Second piece, what is the intention behind what is it that you're about ready to post? I don't really have to think about it because I'm posting me as a concert. Okay. There's not really a whole lot of big deal. I don't think people are going to get negatively impacted by me posting myself. So a lot of this, you don't necessarily have to think too hard about, but what is your intention behind it? And is what I'm about to post hurtful or harmful? Is it hurtful or harmful to me and my potential future that I might not even know exists yet, but could? Or is it hurtful or harmful to some other teammate, my team, my coach, etc.? So if you run that through that lens, I think more often than not, you can use the social media vehicle for good. And a lot of this discussion would be a moot point.
All right, Dr. Steve, this wraps up another great episode. We appreciate you partnering with CNA for our Athletes Strong for Mental Health initiative. Just a reminder, Dr. Steve owns Mindurance, which is an online coaching platform to help individuals manage stress and enhance performance and lead others in managing their life. So once again, thank you, Dr. Steve, and we'll look forward to another conversation soon.
Hey, appreciate it, Dan. Thanks you all for watching, and have a great day.